So my first, I listed down the identity of Kampung Balok of Site 3, and then I stated down the issues on site. So I came up with my concept, casting the future. Philosophically, cast the fishing net into the sea, and it's the main action for the villages. And then casting the vistas. So these are the interpretation of my concept. First, you cast the fishing net onto the site, which spreads the circulation, and then the net settles into the sea in dynamic forms. And then you cast the future by making it a. And from the previous consultations, I listed down things to improve. So first, I'd like to tell about my case study. This is the House of Water, where I studied the circulation and how they segregated the spaces interestingly, and the form itself is very simple, yet each block is different from one another, so the tourists don't get bored, but still looks united as a whole. And the second case study is inspired by the desert scapes, but it also looks very similar to the ocean, so I'm very inspired by that. And the floor plan itself is very random, but at the same time it looks united and it looks nice. And the perforated screen as well, and how there's no doors, just very hollow volume, so I like that. It increases the cross ventilation. Also, the translucent screen protects the building from excessive heat. And then I came up with my conceptual model. It's made of the X and Y axis. So there are strips that I made, which represents the fishing net, how it's made. And then there are waves, which represents the sea waves, the struggles of the fishermen of different volumes and sizes. From top view, it looks just like crosses, but if you see it from your eye view or when you're on the site, every angle has different perspectives, very interesting perspective of the whole building. So my materials would be like wire gauze for translucent walls, and then maybe some timber strips, a mesh of translucent roofs, and maybe the walls would be made of concrete or timber, and furniture can be made of recycled fishing nets. And I did new site planning because to make it closer to the concept. So the fishing, so this is it. The first step I made is this. Second step I made is this. And then I made the minor and major circulation. So I divided into zones and then divided the blocks into suitable functions. And then the buildings were too far from each other, so I made the grids from this big to smaller grids, so the buildings are closer to one another. And the whole orientation of the building allows good cross ventilation because the wind is from northeast. Yes, and then my building, the ground floor would be wider than the upper floor, so the whole facility won't look as bulky. And the first floor, as you can see, the ground floor of the whole facility, there's actually, the spaces are actually very little, it's not that much. And these strips are actually circulations, docks, boardwalks, and it interconnects all the spaces together. So this is the first floor, so there's only going to be 2 levels. Floor plan and space visualization. So I tried to visualize how each blocks look. Maybe every block is different and they have like interconnected balconies for more interesting circulation, and different roof materials, solid and translucent. Some rooms are solid, some rooms are see-through, and then very minimal walls, and maybe the overhang would of course be extended more. This is the dockings connected to the sea. or the fisherman. And here's more. That's it. Thank you.